been told to love myself.
Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would do a very short video on intermittent fasting, basically a beginner's guide or a 101 to this particular topic. I have been doing intermittent fasting probably for around about 3 years now, ever since I embarked upon a ketogenic diet. So for a lot of you who don't know what it is or want to find out more about what intermittent fasting is, please continue to watch. Intermittent fasting has powerful effects on your body, your brain, and even helps you live longer when we talk about autophagy and what that actually does to the cells in your body. This is the ultimate beginner's guide. So the obvious first question is, what is intermittent fasting? Now, it basically means that you don't eat. Fasting requires you to cease eating. However, you can drink water, you can drink black tea, black coffee, or some would argue you could have some bone broth, but I personally believe that intermittent fasting is where you are fasting with no caloric intake. It could be, for example, 16-8 fast, or what I do, 22 and 2 fast. Fasting is nothing new, and it's been done throughout mankind, throughout the ages. Muslims fast, Buddhists fasts, Catholics fast, although with Muslims it's a full-on serious fast because we're talking about a whole month without even drinking water from sunrise to sunset. Mankind has always fasted, especially when in times of scarcity of food. People then tend to adapt. You just adapt to not having food to eat. So for example, you eat for 8 hours in that 8-hour window, and then you fast for 16 hours. And basically you can skip breakfast and start eating at lunch. Then as soon as you finish lunch, within that 8-hour period of time, then you fast for the next 16 hours. So 16, 8, obviously 24. Eat, stop, eat, fast is one which involves fasting for 24 hours, once or twice a week. For example, by not eating from dinner one day until dinner the next. So it's literally a 24-hour fast. So you get up in the morning, you don't eat, you have dinner, and then you stop eating until the next day's dinner time. So that's a pretty intense fast for a beginner. Personally, I would recommend, if you're starting intermittent fasting, try the 12-12, where you'll eat within the first 12 hours, then you'll fast the next 12 hours, and once you get up to speed, you do the 16 to 8. In other words, you're fasting in that 16-hour period and you're eating within an 8-hour period. And then when you really get adapted, then you can do what I do is the 22 to 2. So you eat one meal, you're literally eating one meal within a 2-hour window, and then you're fasting for 22 hours. Now, by reducing your calorie intake, all of these methods should cause weight loss, as long as you don't compensate by eating much more during the eating period. So basically, when it's time to eat, you're on a ketogenic diet anyway, so you're going to have low carb, good high fat. So hopefully, whilst you're eating in that period of time, whether it's an 8-hour window, a 4-hour window, or a 2-hour window, you're eating the good fats, protein, and vegetable carbs, which will satiate you enough and fill you up enough so that you won't overcompensate and eat like you've never eaten in your life before in that window time. So in summary, there are several different ways that you can intermittent fast. All of them split the day or the week into eating and fasting. Now, how does it affect your cells and your hormones? When you fast, several things happen to your body on the cellular and the molecular level. Cells will initiate a very important repair, and it's called autophagy. The human growth hormone, the HGH, the levels of growth hormone skyrocket, increasing as much as 5-fold when you are fasting. This has benefits for not only weight loss, and fat loss, but also muscle gain. It is the human growth hormone which will increase your body mass whilst you are burning fat. Insulin sensitivity is another aspect which will improve, and your levels of insulin will drop dramatically. Lower insulin levels are stored, make stored body fat more accessible. So obviously when you don't eat, your insulin goes down and it'll tap into your already stored fat in your body, because that's how the body will function. If you're not eating, the body still needs to function, so it's searching for food somewhere. So if it's not coming down into the mouth, then it's going to attack the fat that's already stored in your body. Obviously when you're fasting, this is a time when your body will repair cells, and your body will just reject and discard any cells that are old or that are diseased, which has the propensity also for the risk of cancer, and this will just be eradicated out of your body when you are fasting. So when you fast, human growth levels go up, insulin goes down, your body cells also change, and the expression of the genes will initiate important cellular repair processes. Here are the main benefits from intermittent fasting: weight loss, insulin resistance, inflammation of the body, heart health, cancer, brain health, and anti-aging. Reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. It may also help you to live longer. Intermittent fasting can make things easier, as you don't need to plan, cook or clean up as many meals before, because remember, you're either eating one meal or 2 meals a day, so that will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Intermittent fasting is certainly not for everyone, so let's be very clear about that. And once again, I'm no advocate for intermittent fasting. I can only tell you my own personal experiences, because I went to a doctor who specialized in ketogenic diet, in ketosis, and intermittent fasting. So if you're planning to really embark upon this lifestyle and you may have underlying health issues, my advice is to go and see a health practitioner before you start. People who are underweight or have a history of eating disorders should not be fasting. Safety and the side effects. Hunger is obviously the main side effect of intermittent fasting, and you may also feel weak. Your brain may not perform as well as you're used to, but this will only be temporary until you get adapted. It may take some time for your body to adapt to the new meal schedule. If you have diabetes, if you've got problems with your blood and sugar regulation, if you have low blood pressure, if you take medications, if you're underweight, if you have a history of eating disorders, or women who are trying to conceive, pregnant and breastfeeding. All that being said, intermittent fasting has an outstanding safety profile. There is nothing dangerous about not eating for a while if you're healthy and well nourished overall. It just allows the body to rest without having to graze and eat non-stop. It allows your liver to have a rest, it allows your digestion to have a rest, so that the body can then rejuvenate and then start again once you do start eating. You want to fast. If you want to eat in the morning and then stop at 10 o'clock, say for example like I do, my window of eating is between 8 and 10. So that is the time that I eat, and then everything after 10 a.m. up until the next morning, 8 a.m. is when I don't eat. So I can drink water, I can drink tea, I can drink coffee with a splash of cream in it if I want, but basically I'm fasting for a 22-hour period. Of course, if you want to be able to eat at night, if you're going out for dinner and you want to be social, then of course you can eat, say, between 7 and 9 p.m. at night, or even longer, depending what are the hours you want to do with your intermittent fast. And then once you stop eating, say around 10 p.m. at night, then you don't eat again until 7 p.m. the next evening. So again, you can choose the time that you want to fast, be it in the morning, be it in the afternoon, or even in the evening, but you've just got to ensure what your window frame is. If you're going to choose to eat within a 2-window frame, a 4-window frame, or an 8-window frame, then that remainder hours you must be fasting with a non-caloric intake. You can work whilst you're fasting. I certainly do. I get up in the morning at 3 a.m. I have my coffee, I get myself ready, I hit the gym, I do a high intensity workout, and by the time I get home, I will then have my meal, and then I'll stop, like I said, by 10 o'clock. So definitely you can still work out in a fasted state and you will not lose muscle mass. It's important though, whilst you're fasting and if you are working out, then to increase your HIIT workout, in other words, do weights. Because if you're just doing cardio whilst you're fasting, you may lose a little bit of muscle mass. The question is, will fasting slow down your metabolism? No, studies have shown that short-term fast actually boosts your metabolism. However, longer fast of maybe 3 or more days may suppress your metabolism slightly. So chances are that most people have probably fasted at some stage in their life, but if you've ever eaten dinner, then slept, and then not eaten until lunchtime the next day, then you've probably already fasted for about 16 hours. Some people instinctively eat this way anyway, yet they don't even realize that they're intermittent fasting. They just don't feel hungry in the morning. So many people consider the 16-8 method to be the simplest and the most sustainable way of intermittent fasting. But you might want to try to practice this first and then find as you're getting more adapted, and then you might want to move up to more advanced, like a 24-hour fast, 1 or 2 times a week. You stop and start eating, only eating maybe 500 to 600 calories a day, 1 or 2 days a week. Or another approach is to just simply fast whenever it's convenient. And always remember, if you're not hungry, even if you're not fasting, if you're not hungry and your body is not giving you signs that it wants to eat, then don't eat. There's no reason just to keep eating for the sake of eating. Eating real food and taking care of yourself and sleeping well is the most important factors to focus on. If you don't like the idea of fasting, then don't do it, just ignore it, but make sure that you're eating real, clean, and natural foods. And if you do that and maintain a low carb, high fat diet, you will eventually in time lose weight if that's part of your goal. At the end of the day, there's no one size fits all. Intermittent fasting is great for some people and not obviously for others. The only way to find out is to experiment. Try it out. You've got nothing to lose. Not eating is not going to kill you. I hope that's enlightened you on what intermittent fasting is all about. Give it a go if you choose. If you don't, ignore it. But I hope that you have now been able to understand it a little bit more. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will endeavor to answer each and every one of them as soon as I can. Thank you again for watching. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Bye for now.